Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's BrendanMushi. So we're doing a Guilty Gear Strive open beta tier list. I personally think it's fun to talk about tier lists and talk about who's strong and who's weak in the game. I think it's entertaining. I don't take tier lists too seriously. Obviously, especially in this case, it's a beta. Like, the game's not even out yet, and I did get a chance to play every character in the game and watch high-level play of every character in the game. So I think I have a pretty decent grasp on the cast. Obviously, there's some characters I know more than others, but I'll try not to spend too much time on every character. All right, so going from left to right, first one we're going to start off with Soul. Dog, you already know exactly where you belong. Yeah, so absolutely nobody's surprised with this. This character is absolutely nuts. You probably heard a lot of people say it, but a lot of people think that Soul is the most complete character in the game, and I would agree. He has a tool for every situation. His pressure is absolutely disgusting. His far slash is a meme, basically. So if you don't know, his far slash moves him forward and is also +2 on block. So basically, if you've ever seen like a Soul player mash far slash repeatedly, you can mash out of it with punch, but the problem is at any point he can do far slash into a faster button, like a 5K or something, and if you press something at that point, you basically, you get frame trapped. So that coupled with Gunflame and Fafnir, he is obnoxious to deal with. His strike throw game is just incredible. So yeah, Soul goes up to S tier. He's the best character in the game at the current moment. Alright, so next on the list is Kai. I put Kai in A tier. So I think Kai is also one of the more top tiers of the game. I think he's one of the best characters. I mean, he honestly, he functions on the tier list very similarly to how his playstyle is supposed to be in game. He's a literal all-rounder. He excels in every situation. Whereas Soul has some matchups where he might struggle from afar. I feel like there's really no matchups that really give Kai a problem. He can DP out of pressure. He can keep people out with fireballs and long-range normals. His strike throw game is really good too. He has solid damage. There's really nothing that Kai doesn't have. He's a solid character. I think that the thing that makes Soul better than him is that Soul's strengths are silly. Soul's pressure, damage, and plus frames are actually a meme. That's kind of the difference. Soul's damage plus frames, his up close pressure is a joke. Next, we have Mei. I actually put Mei in B tier, and I feel like a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but the reason why I put Mei in B tier is because, to be honest with you, she's so just linear. Her game plan is just so simple, and it's, I don't know, I feel like as the game progresses and goes on, she's only going to get worse and worse as a character. She has a command grab, she has obnoxious air normal, all she really has is strong buttons. Once people get more comfortable with dealing with Totsugeki spam, her just doing horizontal dolphin, once people get used to 6P'ing it, or they know what button to mash after it, what really can she do? She can't zone you out. When she gets close, yeah, she has a strike throw game, but it's not as good as Soul's. So she just seems once people actually lab how to beat her obnoxious dolphins, what specifically do I press when she does a dolphin, it'll be much harder to win with Mei. She doesn't now I will say that when she has meter, she can spend meter on her dolphins to do some pretty obnoxious mix-ups. So with meter, maybe she has some more dirt, but without meter and in her current state and at the level that currently people are playing her at, I'm putting her in B, which isn't bad. B tier in my opinion is solid. These characters are solid. I think A tiers are the top tier strong characters, and S tier is best characters in the game by far, tippy top. That's the way that I see it. And then C is you're underperforming. So next is Axl. Axl's probably the character I know the least about in the game. I did play him, and I know I feel comfortable on him, and I've seen people play him, but still I feel like I'm more familiar with the other characters than him. Personally, I put him in B just because Axl has yet to do anything, in my opinion, that really stands out to me. Yeah, his keep away is pretty decent, but the fact that you can just air block in this game without having to FD makes it a lot easier to deal with him. If you just jump at Axl and you just chicken guard, which is where you run and jump at him, but you hold back, it's yeah, he can throw pokes out and you block it and it kind of ups your risk gauge. You can always FD to mitigate that. but it kind of ups your risk gauge, but not enough to where I feel like it's a problem. I feel like the risk reward half the time is out of his favor. Like the amount of damage he can do to you by throwing out pokes at the current stage of the game isn't as high as the amount of damage he takes for guessing wrong. And it's easier for him to guess wrong than guess right because you don't have to FD. And one vision is nowhere near as strong as anyone thought it was going to be. And he also doesn't have a DP anymore or counters, but still has low health. So I feel like he belongs a little bit lower down on the tier list. Chipp. I think Chipp is underrated. Chipp might be actually be A. So if you're like a Chipp main and you're like, nah, bro, that's hella cap. You might be right. Personally, I haven't seen anything too great come from Chipp. Like, yeah, his Alpha Blade mix-ups can be kind of annoying. Like, he can Alpha Blade to the other side of you and wall cling and cancel it and like hit you with a cross-up. So he has like some tricky stuff. Like, he has a command grab that's pretty quick. But ultimately, like, I mean, everybody already knows, but Chipp has insanely low health. Like, insanely low health. And his damage output isn't that great. Like, if he hits you with just a raw Alpha Blade cross-up in neutral, it like chips you for a little bit of damage and then you tech out. So, and most of his like BMBs without meter, it's like a simple like sweep combo into his Rekka, and like most of the time he's just like hitting you with these small hits of damage and these small hits of damage, but then he gets hit once and then like basically just gets destroyed. Like he just disintegrates from the game. So maybe people might get better mix-ups with him, or like be a little bit more consistent with him, like maybe find some kind of like loopable Oki or something like that, but currently I don't think Chipp is that strong. I think he's a good character though. I think he's solid. Again, B tier, I think they're solid, like middle ground characters. Potemkin, I also would put Potemkin in B tier as well. I think Potemkin previously was way higher, but his nerfs made him a lot worse of a character. But I don't think he's bad. I think that a lot of Potemkin players just downplay because they're dirty grappler players and they just can't admit that grapplers are stupid. So they just cap. You know how that goes. But yeah, he the thing with Potemkin is it's like people will always complain saying like, oh, I have to work so hard as Potemkin, like people can just keep me out, and it's like, first of all, bro, Potemkin has tools to get in. Like, stop. Like he has Hammerfall, which has a hit of armor, and like, yeah, it could be exploited with you hit him and then you RC, or you hit him with a 2-hitting move or something like that, or you throw him out of it. But like, it's still good. If you catch someone throwing out a slow poke and you hammer fall through it, you can hit them and then you're in, or you've at least pushed them to the corner, or you can roam and cancel it and do a shit ton of damage to them. So he also has Slide Head, which completely knocks them down forever, and then you just dash up to them with Hammerfall and then you're in. He also has Flick, so if you're getting zoned out, you can flick a projectile back, and he has extremely long-range fat normals. His jump H is obnoxious. Mega Fist is not as stupid as it used to be, but it's still stupid. You can use Mega Fist to jump over fireballs. Like, Potemkin's entire... You have Gigantor, which, like, basically is just, like, puts up a giant projectile. Like, Potemkin has tons of tools to get through neutral, and people will only get better at using them as the game goes on. And Potemkin can get zoned out the entire match and then pop bust you, like, once and then kill you. Like, so, I mean, I don't really feel bad for him. So, I think Potemkin is a solid character. He might have some polarizing matchups, but even in his worst matchups, if he can get in, like, even once or twice, he can turn the whole thing around instantly. That's just how he works. Alright, next in line, Faust. So, Faust, in my opinion, is another B tier. He is way better now than he was before. This character was sewage water before. He has better Gatlings now. He can Gatling into sweep very easily into item toss. Character has very easy to do fuzzy instant overhead mix-ups when he puts the afro on you. He has teleport, roam and cancel is hella annoying. The thing with Faust is in this game is that while he doesn't excel at doing a bunch of like up close pokes or anything like that, I mean up close like plus moves like say like Soul can do, but what he does have is he has a lot of good pokes. Like he can poke you, like say Faust has you in the corner. He can do like poke, like far slash into 2H to poke at you and cancel into item toss. And it's hard for you to punish him because he's so far away that even though like he threw the item, you want to like press something to interrupt, but you can't because he's so far. And then he does another far slash and that like hits you or you block it. Now an item is falling on you. He throws another item because he can have as many items on screen as he wants. Now the first item's falling down and the second item's falling down, he's poking at you, and then you try to jump out, he jump H's you, and it bounces you off the wall. And so like Faust can really lock you down with just pokes and item toss. Like he doesn't even really have to get up close on you, and if he does and he command grabs you, he gains access to instant overhead. So the character's really strong. I just think that although he does have pokes, I think that he just because of the fact that his offense really isn't that strong, like it's not as strong as like say Soul or I would say Kai's or anything, he doesn't really have like any like tricky mix-ups or anything like that. His game plan's pretty straightforward, and there are ways that you can play around like his item tosses and pokes. Like if you can play smart and play a patient game and get in on him, like he doesn't have a reversal outside of meter, so once you actually get in on him, I feel like you can really like take advantage of him. Like you can just knock him down and beat Faust. It's not really that hard. Millia. So I think Millia's A tier. I've seen a lot of Millia down players say that she's not. I have no idea how you could think that Millia is not good in this game. I don't know, maybe I haven't played her enough, but Millia is extremely obnoxious in this game. So her close slash gives her, she has very, very good like Gatling or special move routes off of her close slash on block. You'll see a lot of Millia players, what they'll do is they'll run up to you, and then on block they'll do close slash. And then after close slash, they'll either do TK Bad Moon for an overhead or delay 2S for a low. And so if you get hit with TK Bad Moon, she runs in and does close slash again. And if you, obviously if you block it, she gets punished, so there is a risk reward out of her favor on that. But if you get hit with the low, she can do 2S 5H into the hair car. And so she gets Disco Key. So if she hits you, it's a 50-50. If you get hit with the overhead, she runs back in and does close slash or throw, which also gives her Disco Key. If you get hit with the low, then she gets Disco Key, and then you have to guess side switch, high, low. And yeah, so I mean, Millia's Oki in this game is absurdly stupid. And her damage output isn't bad. She has great corner carry because she can very easily carry you to the corner and then break the wall or put you in a bad situation if you don't break the wall. So yeah, no, I think Millia's good. See, Zato. I think Zato's A tier. I think he's really strong in this game. I think Zato is extremely underrated. I see a lot of top players saying that he's like more bottom tier or mid tier, and I think personally, like, I think maybe I'm biased because I play him, but I think Zato is like one of the best characters in the game right now. I think he's stupid. The character is absurdly stupid. Like, oppose is nuts. Like, the fact that he can just summon Eddie and Eddie just blocks everything for him, and not only that, but he just counter hits you with 2H, does like 50% of your health and damage, and then has a super that he can spend to give him a hard knockdown and put Eddie back in the game. He has like actual mix-ups, like almost Exerd level mix-ups. He has instant overhead, 50-50 like instant overhead setups versus low. Can combo off of it with Eddie, spend meter to summon Eddie and put him back in the game. Leap is ignorant. Leap is mad ignorant. Like, characters, his pokes are better in this game than they were before. His 2H is better. His reward off of anti-airs is disgusting. Gets like 50% plus off of 2H even without Eddie in the game. He's easier to play now than he was before. Yeah, like, Zato is absolutely fucking absurd. Like, character's dumb. Ramlethal. I also put Ramlethal in A tier. Some people would put her in S tier. Personally, I think Ramlethal is overrated. I can already hear some people crying about that, but I personally don't think Ramlethal is as strong as people think she is. I do think she's strong, but I just think she's overrated. I think that Soul is better than her. I still think Soul is the best character in the game. I think Ramlethal, her like, the thing that Ramlethal excels at is that she has really good air normals and really good grounded normals with her jump slash and jump H and her grounded slash. And so Ramlethal will just poke at you with slash H all day. And then once they get an opportunity to get you in the corner, they throw the swords, and then they go for the mix, because she throws the sword and she's plus, and then it's going to explode. And so she kind of gets multiple chances to open you up. But her only mix is really just like strike throw mix. Like, without meter to RC and go for like some tricky stuff, like, her game plan is pretty simple. Like, as long as you play footsies with her slash buttons, you air dash over them when she throws them out, or you 6P them, as long as you can find the right normals to counter poke against her, you'll do fine. And once she does get you in the corner, just don't panic. Be patient. Like, see if there's a gap between, because there is a gap when she throws the sword and it explodes. If she doesn't fill that gap, you can jump out. And just be cautious that she might like jump up and air throw you. Like, don't get me wrong, she's really good. Like, good Ramlethal players that are not dumb about throwing out their pokes and are good at using her corner pressure are obviously going to be a problem. But yeah, I personally don't see it. Every Ramlethal that I played against was pretty manageable, and when I played her, I couldn't see the same thing that other people were seeing. I've seen Sonic Fox play her a lot. I've seen Goichi play her. I've seen Takehara. I've seen a lot of Ramlethals. I've seen Super Noon. I still don't see her being like super broken. Okay. Who's next? Leo. Leo, I think, belongs in B tier. Oh, whoops, you're not Leo. I think Leo belongs in B tier. I think that his nerf, where he can't combo off the run through, changed him a lot. I think he was way stronger when he could. Leo couldn't combo off a run through in Xrd unless it hit on counter hit. So I mean, it's not like it ruined the character or anything, because he still gets mix off of it. But Leo just to me seems very gimmicky. He almost has the same problem that like Mei has, where like he relies on the opponent to be asleep at the wheel. And so I feel like most of the time whenever I play against Leos, I just wait for them to kill themselves. Like, I wait for them to run through, and it's a very, very easy you just throw them on reaction every time. And so you just basically convince them to never do that move. And then when they don't use it, it's like, what else is he gonna do? Like, if he does 236S, his pressure's done. And that's pretty much all he can do, other than just like throw out a fireball. Like, I'm just not really scared of the character. Like, you can zone him out pretty effectively. Yeah, the command grab's pretty cool though, and when he's in back turn stance and he's pressuring you, like it definitely can be pretty annoying. But I just think currently he's not as strong as he once was. I think he's okay. He's in a good spot. You could definitely win with him, but he's not. I don't think he's as Unga or as ridiculous as he was in Xrd, or even in the previous beta. All right, next, Nagoriyuki. I think rip. I think Nagoriyuki is. I think he's kind of in a bad spot right now. To probably nobody's surprise, I think he's the worst character in the game right now. That's not to say that you can't win with Nagoriyuki, or he has nothing. Like, he has no sauce. He's just complete garbage. Like, you know, pack it up. You can't play the character. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. He does have strengths, but it's more so just that his weaknesses are really glaring, and I think he's just not complete as a character. Like you have to like having to manage the blood gauge is just really obnoxious. Like it's like the blood gauge I think it fills up a lot quicker now than it did previously. And although he has really good pokes, he's so slow. He's so slow with such bad mobility, and I feel like his kit doesn't complement him enough to deal with it. Like Potemkin's does. Like Potemkin is slow, but he has so many tools that mitigate it. He has a command grab that does like fucking 50% of your health. He has armor moves. He has moves that go over projectiles. He has a move that knocks you down from full screen and lets him get in. He has a super that puts a giant shield. He has all these things to mitigate his problems. Now, they kind of tried to do that with Nagoriyuki, right? Like, they gave him, he's slow, but he has really long range normals and a command dash, but it's not enough, in my opinion. It's really not enough. I think that the character definitely could use some adjustments or a rework to blood gauge, because if you go into that mode, you're basically just killing yourself. Like, there's no reason to go into that mode. It's not fun. The blood gauge seems more like a punishment than a mechanic, and it's not fun. I think he needs help. Okay, let's see. Giovanna. I think Giovanna's A. I think that she is really strong. This character is basically just playing Street Fighter V, but it works. She's solid, she's straightforward, she's easy to pick up, and she's good. She does hella damage. She has pretty much a tool for every situation. She has great pokes, great anti-airs, great up-close pressure, great strike throw mix. Pretty good Oki. She has a cross-up, but it seems to be pretty one-dimensional. Like, you know it's always going to cross up. Like, I'm talking about when you do close slash, and then you jump and you dash behind them. Well, because you're always close to them, you're always going to land behind them, so I feel like that's not really going to be that good unless you, like, throw in some Roman cancel shenanigans or something. But yeah, I think she's really good. The fact that her main combo ender leads to a hard knockdown and her throw leads to a hard knockdown means character's literally just playing like Street Fighter. Like, you just run up, close slash, and then go for a frame trap. Oh, you got hit. 214K, hold this hard knockdown, dash up, guess again. Oh, you got thrown, dash up, close slash. Oh, you got counter hit, and she could just keep looping that until she gets you to the wall. And then if she has meter, she could just spend super meter at the wall to break the wall and then dash up and repeat. So yeah, her ability to actually like loop that is really good. And her tools in neutral are good too. She can go through projectiles. She has a very fast air dash to get over pokes and projectiles. So yeah, I think she's solid. Great pokes with her 5H, leads to a hard knockdown on normal hit. Yeah, I think she's a great character. Anji. So I think Anji's B. I think he's good. Like I said, I think all the characters in B are good. They're all playable. They're all fine. I just think that he is kind of in a weird spot. I think that Anji does pretty good in the mid range, but I think that his spin move, where he does the spin, and if you hit him, he counters it and he spins towards you. It's really good against like certain moves and certain matchups, right? Because if the move is really slow, you can get a full like close slash into heavy slash, get a full combo. Like it's really good against a character like Faust, who pokes with his far slash a lot, right? Or a character like Kai, where if you catch the right moves, but people can still exploit it. If you spin and they didn't do anything, like you're gonna get punished. Or if they do a fast normal, like some people will intentionally hit it with a 5P or 2P on purpose to trigger it. And then when Anji's done spinning, he's now negative, and now he has to eat a mix-up. So if you spin against the wrong thing, you're gonna eat a mix-up for spinning correctly, you know? So whereas before, if Anji countered something, he could press a button and immediately blow it up. So he was way more obnoxious. So much so that Anji had guard point on his normals too. So like you could barely even stuff a lot of his things, and he could even wake up because a lot of it was some of his normals had frame 1 guard point. So you could wake up with a normal. Literally you could wake up buttons, and if the opponent pressed something and they triggered your guard point, where normally you'd get counter hit, but because he's Anji, it would trigger your guard point, and then Anji would just blow through whatever you pressed. He no longer has that. Butterfly Oki is still really good, which is why he's at B, because he can throw you, get Butterfly Oki, hold this mix, and his combo routes are nice. They do good damage, and he can actually lead to hard knockdowns pretty easily. I think his pokes are decent in neutral. So I think his neutral's decent, his Oki's pretty solid, and I just think that his overall kit is a little bit lacking, which is kind of how I feel about a lot of the characters in B. I think their kits are just a little bit lacking compared to A. I feel like a lot of people say Soul's the only complete character. I think the S and A characters are much more complete. Like they feel like their kits just work together. They feel like they work well. I feel like the B characters are just all like missing something, you know, or they need like a little bit of adjustments. And C is like borderline, it needs a rework, right? I think B just needs a little bit of extra sauce. A is fine, and then like, you know, S is just, I don't even know. Anyway, Ino, I'm putting Ino in A. I think Ino's stupid still. Flight mix-ups are really dumb. Note is solid. Stroke goes under a lot of pokes, so it's really cool. I don't think she's, I wouldn't say go as far as say she's like super dumb or anything like that. I think she's just a strong character. I think she'll only get better as people find more tech with her. Like, even without, like I said, like Mei needs meter to really do like her dumbest mix-ups, as a lot of these characters do. She does not. Like, most of these other characters don't really need resources or specific situations. Like, Potemkin's like, if he gets in. Anji's like, if I roll against the right thing. You know, Leo is like, if you are like on Zans and half asleep and can't react to a run through. And like, you know, Faust is like, you know, if you just run into my pokes like an idiot and you know aren't able to play patiently, right? Chipp is like, if I just don't get hit by literally anything, you know. So I feel like a lot of these other characters, they kind of are just like, you know, they need resources, they need certain matchups and stipulations, right? Or they might be like kind of missing stuff from their kit. Whereas I feel like the A characters, they're just consistently solid characters. They're just consistently strong, they're consistently good. Their kits just work together. Like Millia has borderline loopable Oki. Like Kai, just everything he does just works. Zato, I feel like has great tools in this game. Has Xrd level like dumb goofy shit as far as pressure and mix-ups. Ramlethal, obviously one of the strongest characters in the game. Like solid poke, solid corner pressure, great reversal super. Giovanna, like I said, playing Street Fighter V. Solid character, basically loopable Oki as well. Hella plus buttons, great tools, great anti-airs, can get through projectiles. Yeah, Ino is able to get under low poke. She can fly at you. She can use the note to kind of like help her get in, and HCL to blow through projectiles and poke at people. I think her neutral is a little bit harder than the rest of the characters here. Like, she struggles a little bit more against certain characters, but once she actually gets in, she will force people to burst them off of her very, very quickly. So yeah, and then Nagoriyuki, I think he basically needs a rework in my opinion. So yeah, but overall, I think that every character in the game is playable, even Nagoriyuki. I just think that Nagoriyuki needs a little bit more help. It wouldn't be surprising to me at all. Like, someone could pick Nagoriyuki, and I think they could do well in tournament. But I think that you're massively handicapping yourself, and you probably have to work harder than everyone else here. So that's kind of how I feel about the C tier. I think the B tier, I think they're all solid characters. They're all fine. I just think that sometimes they have polarizing matchups. They might be missing a little something from their kit that the other characters have, or they might have glaring weaknesses. And whereas the A tier, I feel like they're all solid. Their weaknesses are far less apparent. They have really dumb shit, and they're just solid. And I think Soul is just a fucking meme. This character is a complete fucking ape, gorilla, King Kong caveman. Far Slash is a joke. Character just does absurd damage, absurd plus frames. Everything he does just works. Character's godlike. So yeah, that's my opinion on all the characters, and you let me know what you guys think. If you have any different opinions, or you think I'm right, you think I'm wrong, whatever, let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.